welcome back to the Rebirth of Life and Love. We got Felicia here.
Big Rome in the building.
Yes, and I know you're probably thinking, wait, you ended the last episode saying we were going to see you for a minute. No, we lied. We're back. We got 4 more episodes for this season, and then we're going to take a break. We got our calendars a little mixed up. So welcome to episode 19. And if you are listening or watching, it's 2024. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Wait, air horns.
Yes.
For the new year, because you know what? We made it. Air horns. And you know what? We're going to clap a little bit because in 2024, this is the year of you taking our relationship advice and applying it to your life so you can find love. And if you already have love, you can rebirth that love.
Sustain it, thrive in it, make it successful, all of the things. Because as you guys saw in December, we did a little recap. We really took some time to think over our relationship, the highs, the lows, clap for ourselves, honor ourselves. And now we're starting the new year, and we want to give you a little recap because we don't always get a chance to have alone time without the kids. And so we decided in 2023, like middle summer, that we were going to start doing these quarterly check-ins. And by that, we're going to go somewhere. Just me and Rome, a little staycation. We didn't go too far from home where there's not much plan, but time for us to like reconnect and maybe plan for the year. So the last one we did was December 19th. We looked at our calendars like, oh, we've got 24-hour coverage for Cali. Let's take advantage. Wait, yeah?
One day, and we said, if that's the only day we can do it, we're going to make it work.
Yep. So we booked ourselves a little stay, and this time was different because the other times, like, yes, we did massages and facials and things like that. This time we said we're going to spend a big chunk of time and do some planning for the year and like cover so many categories. And I'll let you take it from here because I feel like you picked out the categories that you really want us to dive in. You had an agenda and everything.
We had a full agenda, which was basically like, it's almost like a regular work day. It's like 90-minute sessions. We had like, what, 4 90-minute sessions where it's like the first one was talking about finances. How do we get better at cutting back? How do we save? How do we stop turning the light on in the middle of the day when you don't need it? All of those things. And then we looked at, okay, from a business standpoint, our social media business, how do we then take what we've already done this year and what we've done past years and scale higher, further, wider, because there's a lot we're leaving out on the table. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the creator economy and creator journey, there's a lot of creators that are making 6-figure incomes based off their audience. And so not that, that's a bad thing or we want to, monetize our entire audience, but there are things like newsletters that people do, there are courses and products that people buy. We haven't tapped into any of that stuff yet. And so this is a year of planning and figuring out what makes sense for us, what makes sense for our audience. The other ones were relationship check-in, which we showed you last pod, and kind of how we are going to set a day and check in, but we basically wrote down on this whiteboard 3 things we can support each other that week, 3 things we need to know that week, the schedule for that week. We're taking in a week-by-week basis, and the plan is to be able to have 52 of those meetings and to follow that same format. And then once we go there, like there should be no miscommunications. There should be no, I didn't know that I wasn't supporting you, because we're very, intentionally clear, giving ourselves 6 days to think about the response to these things. We're clear, so going forward, we can continue to operate like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
And the last one, what was the last one?
It was
the last
family.
One was family.
Yeah. It was nice because I think we caught up in our goals, and it was nice to think about what do we want for the kids and what does that look like? And I think one thing I'll say too is that what made this activity really helpful was that we started everything with a goal that we agreed on. And it had to be simple, and it had to be easy to understand, and concise. And so we had, for us, peace and alignment.
in our relationship.
Yes, in our relationship. And so, and then we went down and went action steps. Like, what are things we can do to make sure we're always getting to peace and alignment? And that was the weekly check-ins. And then we went deeper and had a category for each of us. And we wrote down, what is it that we feel like we could have used more of for this past year? And then for the one that was hard for me, or more eye-opening for me, was the finances. You know, as we're coming down to, like, you don't have your job right now and it's one income. We have other streams of income, but one main income
that comes every 2 weeks, twice a month.
Yeah, it was a reality check of like, okay, we're overspending in these areas and we're both very financially responsible, but we've been used to a certain stream of income and lifestyle. And it's like, okay, how do we change this? And we were overspending, you know, the last couple of years in the groceries and eating out. Okay.
Not even groceries. It's more so eating out, because groceries you have to have, but like,
but yeah, you have to have it. We would buy the groceries, but then we would also eat out the same amount.
I mean, okay, we just ran into a topic. So families and listeners out there, I'm just curious. Please leave your answer in the comments. Now, when you get groceries, I know that the common idea when you get groceries is, okay, now I have groceries, let me cook. See, in my mind, especially if you're hungry at that moment, you get the groceries and then you still get food and then you cook later.
Yes.
I'm very curious how y'all feel about that. Please leave in the comments. Are you a cook when you get the groceries, or are you a get the groceries and then eat out person?
I hear you on that. But we were like, we'll get the groceries and eat out that day. And then we would have like Wednesday would roll around, like, that don't even sound good no more. Yeah, that meal prep
be stale by Wednesday. Not stale as in like just the food bad. It's just like we ate it for the last 3 days and now it's like, all right, we need some variety. I need something else.
Yeah, so then we eat out Wednesday and Friday and Sunday. And it just added up. And then like looking at the areas where we could save back on maybe less Target runs for me. But what was really good for us to come together on is like how we want to start our savings and save for the kids. And I don't know how you guys do it out there, but really understanding, I saw this like a chart where it's like 50% of your needs, 30% of like your wants, and then 20% goes into like savings for the future. And really thinking about that, you know, the needs is like your mortgage, it's your light bill, all of the groceries, and making sure that you're hitting those like buckets. And I feel like we could definitely do a better job in investing and saving for the kids. And that's like our big focus. Cause then we went from the goal planning to like a vision board. And I like how we set that up, where here's our goal for all these categories: family, relationship, business, and finances. And then here's our big dream board of what we want to stand for.
What we want to stand for, but also like the life that we want to speak into existence. It's just like how to each one of these ladder up to that life. Because of course, you know, just like anyone else, everybody wants a bigger place, more space. Everybody wants to eat healthier and save all this money. But like just with life in the world right now, it's kind of hard to do that. It's hard to do that with inflation and, you know, making 2 incomes. It's even harder to do it with inflation, making 1 income. So it's just like, what used to, you'd be able to go to the store and spend $100 on groceries. Now it's like, now you're getting 5 things from the store. And it's like a lot of what we eat, you know, now is produce and protein. So it's kind of like the price on that stuff is continuously going up. So how do we find a way to still eat how we want to eat, live how we want to live? How do we save money? How do we make sure that their futures are their futures are funded? Because again, we say this many times and we have to stress it. This life insurance thing is real.
Right.
The fact that my daughter could not get life insurance, and I was blessed. The one silver lining with my job laying me off is I had a life insurance policy through work. And so I was able to like roll that over into another policy. But for the most part, I was deemed too sick to get external life insurance,
right,
as is my daughter. And so that's really how families get set back, because you incur all these charges and amounts that you can't now support your children and pass down to help them with wealth. And so, again, we'll speak at length of this on our personal channels. If you follow those, if you haven't, you should. Just about what we want to do with that and how do we ensure that our kids are financially secure in the future. But it is important relationship wise that you both have a goal, because if one person wants to grind and have this, picturesque house, place, life, but the other one is content, it might be hard for that to work because your goals are misaligned.
Yes. Well, the alignment, again, alignment and peace. It's like we had moments in this year where we just weren't aligned, and we saw what that did to us when one person's moving in one direction or has other certain expectations. The other one is like totally oblivious to, oh, I didn't realize that's what you wanted. And so I think it helps us give us purpose, and it helps us every day think about what are we trying to achieve and look at that board. I went and put my vision board in my closet so I could see it, because I think that's what I didn't do last year, is that I didn't put it up. And I actually can't find mine. I don't know where it went. But so it's nice to see it and think about, like, when I'm tired or when those days where I feel like I'm overwhelmed, it's like, am I overwhelmed with the good stuff? Are these the things that I need to do to project me into the place I want to be at the end of the year? And so sometimes you have to be in a season of grinding. And I feel like that get lost sometimes with people, is like, the 20s are your grind season, and the early 30s, I feel like the way the economy is, we're still in our grind season. And then you get to reap the benefits in like the 40s.
I feel like you're in the grind season until you're not.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it has a like an age, because of course, like, yeah, with kids and family, like, you would think that it would slow down, but I know a lot of people who hasn't, because there's all, still usually one parent who is still grinding even with the family. Like, it still kind of balances out, because maybe you have one parent kind of take a step back and the other parent, grinds a little bit more, so you're still kind of on that even foot.
I mean more like in your careers. Like, if you want to enter the workforce again, you've put the work in with the companies you've been with, that you would be able to get the interview, and so you went and got your master's. And so you have things in place that are going to allow you to enter back into the workforce. I've been grinding. Now I have the experience and the years to show for it. Now we're in a season where the grinding it's a lot different, but we're in a season that's really important because we have young kids, and we know that this is an impressional season where they learn a lot of values. They learn, they're right from the left, wrong from right from us. And it's a season where we have to kind of like be parents who show and live by example, because they're watching our every move. And so we're in the thick of it, where every day feels so long because there's just so much to do. But it had me thinking, is like, when we talked about the seasons and, saving, that's what I definitely took away from our goal plan, is save more, spend less. Christmas season. We just wrapped up Christmas, and we were at Target buying the kids some things. We had a concerned budget, and it's like,
we exceeded. Go
yeah,
figure.
we went over it, y'all. We went over it.
Go figure.
But it feels like the holidays have become, there's so much pressure to show up, to spend big, and we both looked at each other and like, why? Like, we don't need to spend all this money. We want to give them the experiences. And I'm just curious for the audience out there, like, in this season of Christmas and the holidays, do you find yourself just stressed out trying to make the day so beautiful for your kids, and they want the wrapping paper or they want the boxes? And I just had to slow down and remember, like, we're doing this for the experience, but also we don't need to spend too much where it's just pointless. And
yeah. I think the real kind of topic in this is, yes, a lot of people get their kids gifts. Mm-hmm. But those in a relationship, how do you feel if your partner doesn't give you a gift? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is we haven't done gifts for each other for Christmas for a long time. Like, it's probably been like 4 years or maybe like something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm.
And like, anytime someone asks me, they're like, "Oh, what did you get Felicia for Christmas?" I'm like, "Nothing. We don't do gifts." And they're like, "What?" Like they just don't understand the concept of not doing gifts. And here's the thing: we do birthday gifts. We do things throughout the year. So what we used to do for Christmas is I'm like very particular about like my things. And if you go back to one of the earlier episodes, Felicia will talk about the first Christmas present she bought me. And I was kind of like, oh, thanks. Like it's part of the thing of like why I don't like surprises. I don't like surprises not because of me. It's because of how the other people are going to feel when they give me something.
Well, is it like the expectation, like that you have to like it and you have to give them the response they want to feel good? And you're
Yeah,
like,
I mean
don't feel like
that's always it because like everybody that gets you something, they're like, "Oh my God, he doesn't like it. He doesn't this." And it's just like, all right, well, there's an easy way to fix that.
don't give me.
Either ask me and I'll tell you specifically, and I'll send you the link to specifically.
Did that.
But then I know exactly what it is, or you just don't give me anything, which I'm completely fine with. And so with us, it was like, all right, you take $200, I'll take $200, and we'll go buy ourselves something. Because like, regardless, I don't often spend for myself. I don't get a ton for myself. I know Felicia might feel differently about that with her and her
I got a lot for the
habits.
kids. Yeah, I'm a shopper, y'all. I try to be better. But we used to do gifts. Early in our relationship, like you said, well, we used to have like a $200 limit and we'd buy each other something. But then when we got married and our accounts were joint, it was like we could see what the other person was buying. Like I could see what you're buying from Amazon and everything. And then a couple attempts at getting you something and you being like, this is not what I wanted. Or like me having to ask you too many questions. Like, I want an Xbox. I want this color. I want this.
Yeah, I'm a straight shooter. Listen, if you're going to get me something, it's going to be what I need or money. Like I told my family a long time ago, I'm like, yo, just give me money. I'll get whatever it is I want. And they're like, oh, let me get him this. It's like, yeah, I like the Seahawks, but like, don't just buy me Seahawks stuff just cause. Like, I got.
You're particular about what you want.
I'm very particular. Like I buy what I want, and that's why like I don't often shop too much because if I want something, I just go buy it and then I have it, and then it's just like, oh, I'm good. Like I wanted an Xbox, bought it. I wanted 2K, bought it. I wanted Madden, bought it. Like I didn't need anybody else to go do it for me, and even then, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna sneak you this present, and so like Christmas, has come just like Valentine's Day has become such like the hallmark holiday, everybody trying to spend to show love, and if you don't get somebody something, they feel left out. You get someone something and they don't like it, you feel terrible, and it's just like, bro, I don't got time for all this.
Right.
Like,
and I'm glad
I don't got time to look through Felicia's closet and see what size she wears and this and that. Like,
well, I'm glad we're both on the same page because I think that would be hard. Like, gifts is not one of my love languages. I'm definitely about experiences too. And so that's what we have turned it into. We're going to Cabo later in the year and I want to be able to have a good time. And so I don't need you to buy me a pair of shoes. I want to go to Cabo and live it up, like
Usher for a perfect example.
Exactly.
It's just like we do stuff throughout the year. We spent with Usher. Yeah. We went to LA for a day for the Seahawks game.
Exactly. That was part of your birthday. So it's just like, why does this one holiday, why does it have to be this one day? And I've had 3 different people ask me what I got you or what I received. And like you said, when I say nothing, I didn't open anything.
You received stability.
Ooh.
You received security. Because we want to be
fine man. That's what I received. Chocolate man. Looking all thick on Christmas Day. That's what I got under the tree.
All sick.
And you were sick.
I'm still sick.
It's I think you have to think about what's important for you. And I feel like that's just a key part of what we've been trying to reach is let your relationship be your own and don't feel like you've got to follow what society says because it's turned in holidays and certain seasons into this like show love to your partner this way. This is how they will feel loved. No, ask your partner how they feel loved. Like, what do you need to feel loved? And that's an activity we did and goal setting. It was like, what do you need? How are you going to feel supported? And that's a version of love. Or
like, I don't need to go buy you a YSL bag when I can make you a mixtape. about like songs we
That's cute, but I like that
songs we used to listen
YSL
to growing
bag
up.
now. I buy myself that was ended.
I'll make you a whole Blue
Ooh.
Stars mixtape.
I hope you enjoyed episode 19. And I need to know, do you do goal setting with your spouse and partner? If so, what was the area you need to improve on that you're working on for 2024? As you guys hear, it's finances for us, and we're going to dive deeper into that in season 2. We're going to see and do some progress reports on how we're doing with eating out. And I need to know, do you buy your spouse or partner a gift for the holidays? Because Valentine's Day is coming up, and I know some people might be in the same boat of, do we just show love all the time, or do we need to get them a special gift for this special day? We'll be back with a few more episodes. We are going to sprinkle a few mini episodes before we return with season 2. Leave a comment below and tell us what you enjoy, what topics you want us to touch on, and make sure you're watching us on YouTube, The Rebirth of Life and Love. Subscribe there and follow us on Instagram, and also our personal handles, Felicia11 and Rome Johns. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you soon.